Erika Donalds joins me now. Erika, schools in big cities have been flooded with migrants. What impact does that have on our children's education?
Well, this unmanageable impact is happening as a result of the invasion at the southern border that continues to grow at astonishing rates, as you were just talking about. It's stretching existing scarce resources in our public schools. We know that each one of these students is entering public schools, and we are already experiencing teacher shortages in mental health support. So what happens when we pack these classrooms with non-English speaking students who are already grades behind, while our American native students are still experiencing learning loss, and they need more time in the classroom, more resources, while this COVID money is also running out, Stuart, and school districts just don't know how to handle this influx.
Academic performance is already in trouble following the COVID lockdowns. Would you think that this migrant or the surge of migrant children in our schools will further erode academic performance?
Oh, it absolutely does. You know, there have been studies that show when you have an influx of migrants in the classroom, teachers go at a slower pace. They divert their attention to those new students who are more behind than many of the existing students. And then those additional resources that we have in our schools that we've worked hard to build up, those are then also diverted when it comes to social work, mental health, other guidance support to these new students, leaving the native students behind.
I see Chicago saw its first enrollment bump up. I think it was in 12 years. I guess that was the migrants, right?
It absolutely is. They even attribute it to the migrants and are hiring many new social workers in their schools, but they're not able to staff all of the positions that are necessary. So we really need to look at this migrant crisis from the lens of the impact that it has on an already strained and dismal performing education system here in America.
The number of students who are absent from class surging at an alarming rate. Nearly 30% were chronically absent during the 21-22 school year. Florida is trying to do something about these absences. That's your state. What are they doing?
As usual, Florida taking the lead on a national issue that every single state in the country needs to be concerned with. We saw before the pandemic about 8 million students in our country chronically absent. That has soared to almost 15 million students, and as you mentioned, 30%. So in Florida, we have our legislative session starting tomorrow. Our legislators starting to look at what are solutions to this problem. But what people are not talking about is how the rampant grade inflation that we are seeing across the country may be impacting chronic absenteeism, telling parents that their students are doing well when they aren't, sending the message to parents that the absenteeism is not affecting their student performance when we know that it absolutely does. It reduces their likelihood to read on grade level and also increases their likelihood of dropping out of high school.
You're right. Once again, Florida takes the lead on a national issue. Good stuff. Erika, thank you very much for being with us this morning. We always appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.